Peter, seems like everybody's going gas these days, but I hear you guys got something new for us this year that's really going to knock people's socks off.
We got 3 brand new engines just released them today at the show. Back in December, we released the 10cc. It's a great fanfare, and the customers have really been enjoying it and loving it in their engines. They started almost immediately asking for a 15cc, and so we've got a new 15cc out, but what we haven't talked to anybody else about is our new 20cc and a new 33cc, all under the Evolution brand.
Really? 15, 20, and 33cc gassers. Wow. That's really awesome, Peter. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about these new engines?
Well, the 15cc, we're aiming that directly at the 60 size warbird marketplace. There's a 60 size nitro airplane size marketplace for the guy that wants the economy of gas, the performance of gas, the ease of use that we've come up with our new carburetor. It's a drop in into any 60 size mount.
Okay.
And so turns 13.6 through 14.8 size props all day long, and at about 1/3 the fuel burn and 1/4 the fuel costs.
Excellent. So nice thing when you say 1/3 the fuel burn, you don't need as big a tank.
You don't need as big a tank,
which leaves you room for an ignition battery and an ignition system.
Well, and for the ignition system, we came up with a much smaller than is what typical ignition.
Wait a minute.
This is about 1/2 the size of a typical.
That's
ignition.
the whole ignition right there?
This is the entire ignition right here.
I'll be darned.
This is the same system we use in all 4 of the engines.
Okay.
Either comes with a 1/4-32 plug cap, or obviously something that'll fit the CM6. Coming out of the back side, we've got a tachometer output. These are all put together for us by RCXL.
Okay.
So it's a tach output. Included with the engines is a lead that'll plug right into your Spectrum TM1000.
For telemetry.
For telemetry, so you can read the RPM right off the transmitter without having to get a little small tach out.
All right. Now you said something about a 1032 plug. We got some new spark plugs too?
No, I misspoke. It's a 1/4-32.
1/4-32, excuse me.
Okay, so maybe I misspoke.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same size as your standard glow plug threads.
Oh, that's cool.
So it goes right into the same space. It's smaller than a typical CM6, so if you imagine trying to put that plug on the top of this engine,
it'd be very difficult.
The entire top of the engine dome would be plugged. So we've worked really hard on that and getting some reliability out of that. It's running very, very well.
Cool. Cool.
Okay, there's a few things that we've learned in 2.5 years of doing the development on this, is that fuel delivery to the carburetor is ultra critical. So because of that, the biggest problem that we run into is everybody knows about fuel foaming in a glow engine, and they can watch the bubbles go through the fuel line. Well, in a glow engine, the bubbles go through fast enough and they're small enough and there's enough fuel going through, it really doesn't bother a whole lot, the typical bubble. But now we're using 1/3 the fuel, so those same size bubbles are effectively 3 times as big.
3 times as many bubbles,
so if you get those same bubbles going through a gas engine, it just shuts right off.
Okay.
So to solve those problems, we've included a filtered clunk that goes into the tank that actually removes those bubbles before it gets there.
Okay.
We include an inline filter, and we include some Viton type tubing. It's FKM actually that we source out of China, that is heat resistant and multi-fuel resistant. So all that's in the package.
That all comes.
You don't have to buy anything extra. It all comes out of the box.
Okay.
The only thing we didn't include is the battery.
So you get the engine, you get a muffler.
Yep.
You get fuel line.
Yep.
You get fuel filters.
Yep.
All in the same box.
All in the same box.
That's an awesome deal.
And the best instruction manual that we could come up with.
Excellent, excellent.
The batteries that you need for this, it'll run on anything from 4.8 to 8.4. So it's 2S LiPo ready with no regulator.
Very cool. Very cool.